Hey everybody, welcome to Robot C tutorial. I just want to show you guys how to set up and start with a sample program for our VEX V2 robot kits here. So as you can see, if I go to the top here, I've got the File, Edit, View, Robot, Window, Help. I just want to start with my Robot tab. So there's a few things you need to check just to make sure that things are talking the way that they're supposed to talk. So first thing we want to go to is our platform type. We should have VEX 2.0 Cortex selected. If not, you're going to go to this VEX Robotics tab here, select VEX 2.0. The VEX IQ is going to use some different software and they're not going to talk to one another. After I've done that, I can back out. I want to come back onto this robot tab, and under platform type again, I want to also make sure that the natural language PLTW is selected. Once you've got that selected, we can go ahead and go into our next steps. So again, robot, you're going to be plugging in your USB A to A cable, that's the orange cable, from your computer to either your VEX Cortex, that is the part where all your motors plug into, or your joystick. The joystick is your controller. Okay. So the automatically update firmware option is here under our robot tab. You're going to want to make sure that you plug in those, power them on using the supplied batteries, and update both the VEX Cortex firmware and the joystick firmware before we get too carried away. Once all that is good to go, you can pause the video here, do so, and then come on back. We're going to be looking again at our robot tab, and we're going to go to communication mode. So currently I have the VEXNet or USB selected here. That's going to allow me to run program controls that operate with my controller. You do want to make sure that the VEXNet USB is plugged into your controller when you're updating the program to your Cortex. For all other programs, if you're going to be running an autonomous drive program using the coding for our software, we're going to want to go ahead and select this USB only. With the USB only, it's just going to talk a little bit better and be able to run our programs cleaner from there. So for now, I'm going to select this USB only, and I'm just about ready to get started with a new file. So I am going to go to my new file button from my start page, hit new file, and I'm going to be prompted with this task main, open close bracket, as well as these two squiggle brackets that you guys can see here. That is the opening of my programming. That is the closing of my programming. So this source file 002 currently has nothing in it because I haven't written any code. But for starters, we're going to go and open some of the VEX sample code just to see what this C language is going to look like. So up here, top left under File, I can click there and I can open a sample program, two down from the top. So these sample programs are already pre-constructed. They're going to give us an idea what this code actually looks like, what it can do, and let us just play around with how it's going to affect our controller. So I can do the open sample program, and I can pick from a whole bunch. There's going to be in here. So for the different things we have, accelerometer, advanced, basic movement, bumpers, limit switches, all kinds of different things that we can eventually program here and look at what we have. For starters though, I'd love for you guys to just try some of this basic movement. So I'm going to open up basic movement and we're going to go to moving forward. So if I open up this moving forward, it's just going to show us what does it take programming wise to get our robot to move forward. So double click on there and now I've got this code automatically generated by Robot C. It's up here. I also have this green. So this green code starts with a double forward slash. It's called pseudocode. So as far as the robot Cortex goes, it is not reading anything that is in green. That is for me, the programmer, to just understand what it is that's going on. So if I scroll down in between our task main brackets here, I now have some commands. I have a wait 1 mset command. If I go over to my pseudocode right here, it's going to say it's going to wait 2,000 milliseconds before executing the program. So if I count to 2, 1, 2 seconds, it's 2,000 milliseconds. It's just going to wait before it executes the program. The next thing we have here is we want to move forward at full power for 3 seconds. So we want to understand some of the controls here. So we're going to control the motors individually. So we have our motor. Motors get a square bracket. Right motor as defined, whoop, up here at the top as right motor. Coming back down. At close square bracket, space equals space, 127. So the variable 127 is going to be full power for these VEX kits for our 393 motors. So that is a positive value, so that is forward at full speed with the right motor, 127. And we really want to make sure that we're ending each and every line of command code with this semicolon. Okay, so line by line, I can see motor at port 2 is run at full, 127 power forward. Now, when it comes to coding, it's going to read all these things in order very, very quickly when it comes to the Cortex. So the next thing that it's going to do is going to look to the left motor as defined here, and it's also going to put that full speed. So it's going forward, both motors full speed. Now we have this wait 1 msec, capital M, msec command for 3000. Okay, if we go back to our wait 1 msec 2000 command, that means that it's going to do everything stated above here for, you guessed it, 3 seconds. So if I update this into my Cortex, what the result should be that my robot moves forward for 3 seconds. Go ahead, you guys can take this program, double check it. The one thing, sorry, before I leave you, the one thing you definitely need to check, this is program motors port 2 and port 3. And if you followed the instructions for Clawbot, you definitely don't have anything plugged into port 2 and port 3. So we're going to go to this little spot here, motor sensor setup. We're going to click it, and we can change some stuff around. So we can individually change. Now on Clawbot, we have a motor in port 1 and a motor in port 10, and we could go in here and we could define this as right motor, and we could select from our list of motors, being a 393 is what we're putting on there. One of them is going to have to be reversed with our tank drive, just so that they're spinning in the same direction because they're mounted opposite one another. Or we can go to our standard models. And since we created a standard model from some VEX instructions, we can go under select configuration and find our Clawbot right here on the list. And once I click that, you're going to notice that a little image comes up of what our completed Clawbot would look like. And when I go to motors now, tab over 1, I can see that in port 1 is my left motor, in port 10 is my right motor. They're VEX 393s. One of them is reversed. There's even encoder ports, and our drive motor side is defined. So looking good. There's a lot of extra stuff here that we don't have on our current robot, like port 6 and 7 are not occupied. Also, we don't have any of our line follower sensors, and we don't have any digital sensors, encoders, or sonar plugged in. But more to come. I can just hit apply there, and I'm going to see a big difference when I press OK. So apply and then OK. And if I look at the top of my pseudocode here, sometimes I'll have standard model RVW, or I might see each of the individual configurations for the plugins. So that's been changed to Clawbot. Now I have right motor as defined, should go into that port 10, and left motor being in port 1, and everything should work out. So I'm going to hit this little button up here, compile program. This is like your check before you execute button. So I'm going to hit the compile program, and I'm going to save it somewhere into my documents. It already exists because I already have one. I'll replace it with this one. And I'm going to look down at this bottom here, and it says no issues. Now, if, say, I forgot a semicolon on one of these lines, it would be a little bit different. I compile this, and I'm going to get a warning. It says they're missing a semicolon has been automatically inserted by compiler. So I want to go back to that identified line, number 31, and I go, oh, yep, I definitely missed that. Plug it back in, and I'm ready to compile. Some more major ones is if you lose these open squiggle brackets and you're not defined what you need to do inside of your task main, you're going to see when I compile this, all kinds of errors. It is really not happy. It has no idea what I meant to tell it, and it's having a fit. So I need to check with my instructor or double check over my code, make sure that I'm opening with that squiggle bracket, and then things will go back the way we want them to be. So open that squiggle bracket, compile, okay, we're back to normal. Once that's all done, I want to turn the power on to both my Cortex, plug in the USB A to A cable to the Cortex and to my computer, and I simply hit this download to robot. I'm not currently plugged into a robot right now, so it's going to give me an error, but this would step me into what is called debugging program, where I could hold my robot up and test it, or I can simply power cycle the robot, turn it off, unplug it from the USB cable, set it on the ground, turn it on, and it should, after 2 seconds, drive forward for 3 seconds. So go ahead, play with that program, play with some others, see if you can get your remote operational, and just have fun with it. All right, till next time. Bye-bye.